All right, question 3. Healthcare provider is prescribed 2 grams of streptomycin IM. Total dose. Daily divided every 8 hours for your client. So like the previous question, we're going to have to divide by 3 at some point. Charge nurse recommends that you use 1.8 mils of sterile water to reconstitute the medication to reduce the volume to be injected. So if we are reconstituting, that means that this is likely a powder. So we're going to be adding water into the vial to mix everything together into a liquid, and then that's how we're going to administer it. How many mils will you give per dose? So ultimately, this is asking, kind of like the last question, we have a total amount that we have to give over the course of a day. We're going to be administering it every 8 hours, which means we're going to give 3 total doses. How many mils are you going to give per dose? So if we look at the label, we have streptomycin for injection. So this is our medication. There is 1 gram of medication per vial. That is helpful for IM use. And then if you turn your head to the side, you can see that there's information related to the concentration once it's re-administered. So milligrams per milliliter, we have 4.2 mils being added. We have 3.2 and 1.8. Per the order, we are going to be administering it with 1.8, which means that our concentration is going to be 400 milligrams per milliliter, per 1 milliliter. That's going to be our concentration for the sake of calculation that is given by our label, which means that it's most likely accurate. So with that information, we can move forward and do our calculation. So we know that we're looking for milliliters. We can start with that. And we know that at the top of our first factor, we're going to have milliliters. We know that in 1 milliliter, there are 400 milligrams. We get that from right here. That's our concentration. And that's great. Our next factor, we're going to be getting rid of those milligrams because we want to keep milliliters there, so that's our final answer. And our order is given in grams, so we're going to need to convert in order to make that work. In order to do that, we're going to have milligrams at the top and then grams at the bottom. So we're going to be converting. We know that for every 1 gram, there is 1,000 milligrams. And if you memorize that, that's great. That is something that you can memorize. And that will help you kind of move forward with that information. And then, in order to finally get rid of those grams, we'll have grams at the top. And our order is 2 grams, which is very helpful. And so when we cancel out milligrams and cancel out grams, we'll have 1,000 divided by 400, and that's going to give us our milliliters. So if we bring that down here, we have 2,000 milliliters divided by 400, which equals 5. And that is not our final answer because we need to divide that for every 8 hours as given to us in the question. We know that if we wanted to work this out, we're going to be giving it every 8 hours. So when we multiply this, we're going to be multiplying it or dividing it by 3 doses, which gives us, what's 5 divided by 3? Hold on. Calculator, 5 divided by 3 equals 1.667 milliliters per dose. And then we can go ahead and round that to, because it's more than 1 milliliter, we're going to use 1.7 milliliters. Does this make sense? You can go ahead and do your own checks to make sure, but that's an appropriate amount of volume for an intramuscular injection. If you don't know that, you will learn it, but we can move on comfortably.